Hello, my little superheroes. Today, I want to tell you a story about one of the biggest surprises of my young life. But this surprise didn't come wrapped in a box. It didn't have a ribbon, and nobody yelled, "Surprise!" It started with something very simple. I was just trying to do my job, and somehow that changed the direction of my life. After Mary helped me learn how to cook, she continued to look out for me in ways I never expected. One day, Mary and I were sitting outside in her backyard just talking, and during our conversation, she told me that she had heard about a job opening. She thought I should apply. I was so excited. Remember, I was still new to America. I had finished college in the Philippines, and I was grateful just to have an opportunity to start working and build a new life here. So when Mary told me about the job, I thanked her and told her that I would apply. And just like she had encouraged me before, Mary told me that she believed in me. She told me to keep working hard and that good things would come my way. I don't think either one of us realized how important that little conversation in her backyard would become, because I applied for the job and I got it. That became my very first job in America. I started as a data clerk. It wasn't a fancy position, but I was grateful to have a job. And I remembered something I had been taught growing up. Whatever you are given to do, do your very best. And that little lesson was about to lead me somewhere I never expected. Then one day, a supervisor from another department learned something about me that she hadn't known before. She found out that I had a college degree. She came to me and asked if I would like to join her department. Of course, I said yes. And just like that, I received my first promotion, from data clerk to patient service representative. I was excited about the new opportunity, but I approached it the same way I approached my first job. I wanted to learn, I wanted to help, and I wanted to do my very best. I had no idea that something I would notice while working in this new department would eventually lead to another promotion and an entirely different direction for my career. As I settled into my job, I started learning how everything worked. Every day I entered information, prepared reports, checked the records, and followed the system I had been taught. But after doing the same work over and over again, I started noticing something. Some information was being entered more than once. Some of the reports took longer than I thought they needed to. And there were little things in the process that made me wonder, there must be a better way to do this. Now, nobody asked me to fix anything. I was just doing my job. But that's the way my mind worked. When I saw something that could be improved, I wanted to understand it. So instead of ignoring what I was noticing, I started paying closer attention. I looked at the steps. I looked at where we were spending unnecessary time. And little by little, ideas started coming into my head. I wasn't trying to impress anybody. I wasn't thinking about getting promoted. I was simply thinking, how can I make this better? And I had no idea that asking myself that one little question was about to change my career. So I started writing my ideas down. Nothing complicated at first. I simply looked at the work I was doing every day and asked myself what could make it easier, faster, and more accurate. Could we eliminate some of the duplicate data entry? Could we make the monthly reports easier to prepare? Could the computer screens be more user-friendly? Could we reduce mistakes and save everyone some time? One idea led to another, and before I knew it, I had a whole list of possibilities. Now remember, I was still new in this job. Nobody had asked me to redesign the system. Nobody had given me a special assignment. I simply saw something that I thought could be better. And instead of waiting for someone else to do something about it, I kept asking myself one question: how can I make this better? Then I decided, maybe I shouldn't keep these ideas to myself. Maybe I should share them with my supervisor. Finally, I decided to take my ideas to my supervisor. I wasn't sure what she was going to think. After all, I was still new, and I certainly wasn't the person in charge of the computer system. But I showed her what I had been working on and explained some of the changes I thought could make our work easier, faster, and more accurate. And you know what? She listened. She didn't dismiss my ideas because of my position. She didn't tell me to just go back and do my job. She looked at what I had put together and said, "These are excellent ideas. Let's implement them and see what happens." I was excited, but I was also a little nervous, because having an idea is one thing, seeing whether it actually works is another. So we implemented some of the changes, and they worked. We reduced unnecessary steps. The work became more efficient, and my supervisor was very happy with the results. I remember feeling proud, not because I was trying to get attention, but because something I had noticed, something I had taken the time to think about, actually helped other people do their jobs better. But what I didn't know was that my supervisor was so pleased with the results, she decided to tell her director about me. She explained that I had noticed a problem, came up with an idea, shared it with her, and that after they implemented it, it worked. The changes were making a difference. And instead of taking the credit for herself, my supervisor did something I will always appreciate. She gave the credit to me. She told her director about the idea and the results it was creating. The director was impressed. He wanted more people in the company who were willing to think, solve problems, and look for ways to make things better. Then he said something I wasn't expecting at all. He wanted to meet me. So my supervisor came back and told me that the director wanted me to come to his office. And do you know what my first thought was? Oh my goodness, what did I do? I didn't know I was about to receive one of the biggest surprises of my young career. When my supervisor told me that the director wanted to see me, I immediately became nervous. I remember walking toward his office thinking, oh my, did I do something wrong? I had no idea why someone at his level wanted to talk to me. I was still young, still learning, and I was certainly not expecting any special attention. When I walked into his office, he smiled and asked me to sit down. And then he started talking about the idea I had shared with my supervisor. He told me that he had heard about the improvements we made and the results they were getting. Then he said something I never expected. He told me that he saw something in me. He saw my ability to understand technology. He saw the way I looked at problems and tried to find solutions. And then he told me they wanted me in the information technology department. I couldn't believe it. I had walked into that office worried that I might be in trouble, and instead, I walked out with a promotion. And the funny thing was, they didn't know something about me yet. Back in the Philippines, I had studied computer programming. In fact, I had even won a gold medal for it. Maybe this opportunity wasn't as accidental as it seemed. Maybe everything I had learned before coming to America was simply waiting for the right moment to show up again. After everything happened, there was someone else I needed to thank, my supervisor. She could have listened to my idea and simply moved on. She could have implemented it and taken the credit, but she didn't. She gave me an opportunity to speak. She listened to my ideas. She was willing to try them. And when those ideas worked, she made sure the director knew where they came from. I remember looking at her and feeling so grateful. Because sometimes working hard isn't enough. Sometimes you also need someone who is willing to recognize what you can do and open a door for you. I thanked her for believing in me and for giving me the opportunity to show what I could do. And she reminded me that I had earned it. That experience taught me something I still believe today. Great leaders don't have to be the person with every great idea. Great leaders recognize good ideas in other people. They give people a chance. They give credit where credit is due. And most importantly, they help other people grow. My supervisor did that for me. And all these years later, I still remember her for it. And there was one more person I wanted to thank, Mary. I went back to see her and tell her what had happened. I told her about the job, about my idea, about my supervisor, and about the promotion. And as I sat there with her, I realized something. This journey had actually started right there, with Mary. She was the neighbor who had patiently helped me when I didn't even know how to cook. She shared her recipes with me. She encouraged me when I was struggling to adjust to a new country. And then one day, She heard about a job opening, and she thought of me. That simple act of kindness helped me get my very first job in America. Mary didn't know that job would eventually lead me to the information technology department. She didn't know that I would walk into an office one day with an idea for improving a computer system. She simply saw a young woman trying to build a new life, and she helped. So I thanked her. And of course, Mary smiled and told me how proud she was of me. But as I look back on it today, I understand something I couldn't fully understand then. Sometimes the people who change the direction of our lives don't arrive with a big announcement. Sometimes they're simply the kind neighbor next door. And that is why I believe we should never forget the people who believed in us, encouraged us, taught us, or opened that very first door. And that was the computer surprise. When I look back at young Marie, I realized she wasn't trying to become important. She wasn't trying to get noticed. She was simply trying to do her very best with the opportunity she had been given. She saw something that could be better. So she asked herself, how can I make this better? That one question led to an idea. The idea created a result. The result got noticed, and that opened another door. But none of it happened by myself. Mary opened the first door by thinking of me when she heard about a job. My supervisor opened another door when she listened to my idea, gave me a chance, and made sure I received the credit. And the director opened another door when he recognized something in me that could be used somewhere bigger. That's something I want you to remember. You don't always have to know where an opportunity is going to take you. Just do your best with the opportunity that's in front of you right now. Pay attention, be curious, look for ways to help. And when you see something that could be better, don't be afraid to ask, how can I make this better? Because sometimes the smallest idea can reveal a gift inside of you that other people haven't seen yet. And never forget the people who helped you along the way. Thank them, remember them, and when it's your turn, be that person for someone else. This is Super Marie reminding you, do your best, use your gifts, help others grow, and always believe in the power within you. Until our next Young Marie story, keep learning, keep helping, and keep firing up the good inside of you.